Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Nova, if you didn't know. And it has officially been 1 whole year since I started my hardcore Minecraft Forever world. That feels so crazy to say, honestly, but I'm very excited for this episode because I'm going to be doing an entire world tour. So if you want to come along on the journey with me of the past year inside of my hardcore world, make sure to leave a like and subscribe while you're at it, and let's get on with the tour. So I guess I should start with my house here. This was the very first thing that I built in this world, and I spent a long time planning this out. I've had a lot of worlds before this one, and I really wanted to make sure that this world had the house that I was most proud of that I've ever built in Minecraft. And I have to say, it is by far my favorite. So in the entry room here, I've just got a little flower room. I just kind of like the idea of walking in and like smelling all the flowers and just getting refreshed after a long day out. And then in here, we have the living room, of course, with my little makeshift couch and a big beacon beam coming through the floor. Don't mind that, but through this little doorway here, we have my kitchen, which I don't really use all that often, to be honest with you. I mean, the kitchen is just kind of here more for decoration purposes more than anything. But if I ever need to come in here for whatever reason, I have a little kitchen. And down here, actually, I haven't shown this on a video before because I've been building it over on my Twitch stream, which is just at NovaSoBored in case you're curious. And here I have an entire basement of my house that is all just for storage. I actually haven't gotten around to storing things in here or transferring all my items because I am lazy, but I'm sure at some point they'll all be put in here. Then if we come back up and come upstairs, we have a ton more rooms to go to, like my study room here. I kind of really wanted an area in my world where in case I was like stressing or having a lot of anxiety, I could just come in here and listen to the fire and maybe write down some build ideas, which I have yet to do. And also just put some little trinkets from my adventures in here as well, which I have done. And through here, we have a guest room, which I don't really go inside of. But over here, a room that I do go inside of is my little workstation room, which I use a ton, mostly just for the furnaces. I find myself smelting so many blocks and items, so I'm glad I have this room, although my shelves do look a bit weird. Don't look too closely at those. I also, of course, have my enchanting area here with a full bookcase setup and a bunch of books in here and just some chests lying around with a bunch of extra items in case I ever need them. And then if we come upstairs, we have one more floor up here, and through here is my current storage room, which I need to transfer everything inside of to the basement storage room, which I again have not gotten around to yet. That is gonna take a long time. But for a small little storage room, it has done its job. I could have everything you could ever need, a bunch of plants and food and blocks and yeah, a lot of stuff. An entire year's worth of stuff. But on the other side, what I have over here is my bedroom, and I love this bedroom so much. I love this big like 4-poster bed almost. I don't know why, this room just feels so cozy to me, and sometimes I will come and sit here. I don't know if you can tell, but I really love like the sounds of like fire crackling, and you can kind of listen to that here with a candle. Okay, and finally at the very top of my house, there is this room, which is currently empty, but up here, I have my little observatory. Originally, there was a skulk block coming down to about here where you could like look inside of and see the stars, but the beacon beam did have to take precedent over anything in this area, so that's since been removed. But you can see I still do have this huge telescope here that is supposed to look like it's looking out into space and, I don't know, looking for aliens or something. Hopefully they end up coming one day. But yeah, that is my entire house. Like I said, this is my favorite house that I've ever built, and I'm still so proud of it to this day. Oh, don't look at those. Do not look at those, girls. Those are just some other things that need to go into the basement storage room. So I think I'm gonna go in order of the episodes being recorded. So after I built my house, I went to the bottom of my hill down here and I built this entire zoo. So let's just fly down here and I will give you a tour of that. So welcome to NovaSoBored Zoo. I think this is my second favorite thing I've ever built in Minecraft. In here, I have like a little security, like metal detector thing that's supposed to go off if you have any like contraband in your items that you would put into this chest, but I don't know redstone, so I fear you could bring in anything to the zoo and I really wouldn't know. But if you come through there, you get to the main point of entry into the zoo and you get a good look at everything we have to offer. While you're walking around, you'll notice this fountain, which is shaped like a star, which I absolutely love. And it actually shows up on this map over here, which I'll walk over to in the first exhibit, which is an exhibit for my pet llama, who is currently guarding something very secret that I'll show you towards the end of the tour. But my llama would normally be in here in his little bat cave because he is called Llama Man. He's the resident superhero in my world who doesn't really do anything super and doesn't really act like a hero, but regardless, we love him. Anyway, you can see the whole zoo on the top here, and there's the star fountain that I was talking about. This is also where Llama Man's bat suit would go, but I'm currently wearing the bat suit, I fear. I mean, it's just too good not to wear. So coming down here, I'll go over to the second exhibit that I built, which was an exhibit from my axolotl friends. This exhibit is a tiny moss garden that has azalea trees and moss all over the place and a big lily pad right in the middle. And you can see down here my axolotls just kind of like swimming at the bottom. They don't really go any higher than like where the yellow one is, which is crazy. They kind of just stick to themselves down here, and honestly, I don't bother them. I respect their privacy. Now, if you come to the other side of the zoo, I will show you the next two exhibits that I built. First one of these two being the big dog park that I've built here out of these spruce trees and this brick. I adore this area in my world so much. It feels so relaxing. Like to just sit here and look at all the fairy lights at nighttime and look at the twinkling stars. I love this area. And of course, I have my little doggies in here. I have Holly and this one who currently doesn't have a name, unfortunately. I haven't really been able to think of a name for this dog, so if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments section. Anyways, in this dog park, they have a ton of obstacles. Like this one, they would walk over or walk under. Then, of course, they have a hoop that they would jump through and just some other little bits and bobs here and there to fill out the place. Like this thing you would crawl through. What I like about this dog park, though, is these little water fountains over here. In case your dog gets too thirsty and needs something to drink, they can do it from the faucets here. God, I have been yapping. It's already nighttime. The next exhibit that I built was all the way over here, and that is a little desert oasis for my camel, which is nowhere to be seen. Hello? Plumosa? Oh, you're there. Okay. We're good, girl. This is Plumosa, my camel. She likes to hang around in the oasis and get her feet wet, but to make her feel more like at home, I have built an entire desert section, including a miniature desert temple, which doubles as her bedroom. I've also got this structure here. I'm honestly not entirely sure what this structure is, but it's just supposed to be like an abandoned little thing. And then I also have a well over here full of water. Let's make a wish right now. I hope that this video gets 10 likes. There we go. The next exhibit that I've built is this one right over here, and can you guess who this one is for? I got a pet parrot in the first episode of this series, and this is where she hangs out. This is Polly here, or Polly question mark. If you want to know why she has the question mark, make sure to watch the first episode. But she has an entire artificial jungle to hang around and fly around for herself. I do plan on adding more parrots into here. I just haven't had the time to go find them. But when I'm ready to go get them, they'll be placed right in this exhibit. Also over here, I've got a gift shop. You can buy azalea trees and some tropical fish as well, and even name tags and saddles for your animals. I love this little gift shop, and originally these were supposed to have names on them. If you've ever seen like those keychain spinners that you could get with your name on them, or like the little fake license plates, that's what these were supposed to be, but the names have like disappeared because I've updated my Minecraft version. So they're a little bit blank and have no names right now, but I'm sure I'll add them back at some point when I remember. Anywho, the final exhibit of my zoo is this petting zoo area. And in here, I've got a ton of farm animals. I don't know what's going on here, why they're all congregating in this section, but I also have my pigs over here and my cows as well, which as you can see are very happy in this little pen. Then on this side, I've got some bees that are just hanging around in their hives. And I also have this teeny tiny little barn where I keep some chickens and some horses, mainly skeleton horses. I'm not entirely sure I remember how they got into my world, but I do remember just putting them in there because I didn't know where else to place them. So there's that. And that, everyone, is my entire zoo. I think I spent like 4 episodes building this. Like I said, it was the project in Minecraft that I spent the most time on ever, and I absolutely love it. Not only is it a good place to house all of the pets that I've collected, but it is a nice relaxing area that I do like to come to an AFK sometimes if I need to take a sec and try to get some inspiration for this world. Okay, so let's go on to the next thing that I built, and for this we're gonna have to fly all the way over here because the next thing that I built is this massive bridge here. This bridge leads to my nether portal, and I had a blast making this bridge. I really wanted to build a dark build in my world, but I didn't quite know how to execute that, and I thought this bridge would be the perfect little excuse for that. My favorite thing about this bridge is underneath with these lanterns that hang on chains from these hoops that go around it. I adore it so much. And if you're wondering why I put purple glass here, it's because when I turn on my shaders pack, it gives off like this purple aura around it, which I adore. I love colored lighting. And then the end of it leads directly into my nether portal, which I've sort of made kind of like a splash of. I love the way that like the obsidian fades into the crying obsidian, which fades into the nether portal. It all makes it look just like a big hole in the wall, and I love it. And then I also filled in this cave over here with a bunch of lava. My shaders make this cave glow orange, and at nighttime when you're walking across the bridge, it just looks very menacing. And yeah, that is my bridge. Now I will show you the next thing that I built. I guess planted instead of built? I don't know. But I have made an entire artificial forest right here at the base of my mountain. It started off as me just kind of wanting to plant some trees around and make the walk up to my house a little less empty. But since I've been building in this world, this forest has evolved into housing so many things. I have completely decorated this forest with like a bunch of flowers and vines and mushrooms. And over here, I've even added in my own version of the pale garden. I custom built these trees out of pale oak wood, and I made them look more crooked and like weird compared to the normal pale garden. And then in the middle here, I have this eye-shaped island which glows at nighttime. The eye blossoms open at nighttime, and at the same time, these light up, and I think it makes a really cool effect. But yeah, this forest goes all the way up to my house, and I just have so much stuff here. I don't know if you can hear, but I do have some cats in here somewhere as well. They're just around here chilling. Oh, there's one now. They've got little play areas with this bamboo that they can walk around on. I love this forest so much. I love the ambience. I love the firefly blocks too that add a bunch of particles flowing around. It makes it feel so full and dense, which is what I wanted originally. And I know I've been saying this quite a lot, but I do love coming in this forest and like AFK and relax. I basically curated this world so that I can AFK wherever and have a nice pretty view and some nice sounds to listen to whenever I'm feeling a little stressed or full of anxiety. This entire world started because around a year ago, I was going through some pretty tough stuff in my life, and it was probably like the hardest time that I've ever gone through in my life, and I really needed a way to relieve stress and get rid of a lot of anxiety I was feeling. And for the longest time, playing video games, but more specifically Minecraft, has been my sort of stress reliever and also my my creative outlet online. So I decided to just make this world and start recording in it and see what would happen. And over the past year, a lot of things have just sort of flowed out of me, if that makes sense. Like at the beginning, I was uploading videos of this world so much because my creative juices were just kind of coming out, and this world is just sort of, I guess, where they needed to flow out into for me to continue and to heal as a person and as a creator. Truth is, when I started this world, I didn't really know if it would continue. I know I'm getting pretty deep, but I feel like it makes sense to in this video. I didn't know when I started this world where my life was going or what I was going to be doing a year from now. I genuinely thought that like I wouldn't even see another year of my life, you know? In summary, it was a very dark and torrential time to be NovaSoBored. So getting to have this world for the past year and getting to funnel my creativity into here and curate this world where I feel safe and comfortable, and getting to share that with you guys and seeing how you guys have reacted to it on YouTube and more recently TikTok has been really nice. Like I said, and I'll wrap it up in a second, having this world really saved me from a super dark time, and I'm very grateful for this world, and because of that I never want this world to stop. I want to keep building it and expanding it and keep it going. I have never really been able to look back on a lot of things in my life and sort of remember where I was or how I felt emotionally and mentally when I looked at it, because I've blocked out quite a bit. But this past year, I felt very present in a way that I haven't before in my life. It was like this sort of tap on the shoulder from life that was just kind of like, okay, girl, you need to wake up now. And I woke up, and I've been sort of really trying to heal and live and get back to who I was, and I know that I can be again, and this world has helped so much with that. So again, I never want this world to stop. I want to keep it going. I love it so much, and I can't wait to see what else I do in this world. Anyway, sappy time over. Let's get back on with the tour. So after I built my forest, excuse me while I pull up my own episodes. I may have forgotten what order I did this in. Okay, I see. So after building this forest, I actually went to the Pale Garden for the very first time, and I got a bunch of pale oak wood so that I could build these gassed airships from a Minecraft movie. I love these builds so much, and these came out of pure need for me. I was sort of looking out over this section of my world, and I was like, the sky needs something. It was looking a bit boring over here, and I really wanted to build something in the sky. So I went ahead and I built these gassed airships from the Minecraft movie. And I think they turned out so good. The insides of their mouth are supposed to look like fire, and my shaders really help with that. I really love how these builds turned out, and these don't really have like a function or like a rhyme or reason. They're just there to look cute and to fill out the sky. And you know what? I love that. After I built those, I built my little pale garden, which I've already showed you. And after that, I came over here and I built this huge tower. And I know you're probably thinking, girl, what is this mess? This is actually a tower from one of my favorite video games, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. And if you've ever played that game, you'll know that Link uses these launch towers to launch himself high up into the sky. And that's exactly what I have built here. I've built my Minecraft version of that tower. It originally was a TNT launcher, but the TNT cannon was making my world completely lag out, and anytime I used it, it would crash the game. So I had to replace it with wind charges, and even these don't really work as well. You can see it almost gets you to the top, but not quite as far. So I'll have to figure out another method of launching myself out of this tower. But yeah, I built that and I still love it. I think it really helps to fill out the area on this side. And who knows, I might build another one somewhere else, just like the game. And if you heard that guy behind me, that is actually where I was going to show you next. In here, I have built a, well, I guess you can't really see it, but I have, trust me, built my own magical cave. Excuse me, Sniffer, I'm just gonna Just gonna squeeze by you there, thank you. I filled this cave with a bunch of ores, and I've made sort of makeshift little mine shaft support beams and stuff. But I've basically made this magical cave to connect the two parts of my world, which are the Elytra launch tower going all the way over to my forest that I showed you not too long ago. I just thought it'd be an easier way of getting to the other side without having to like waste fireworks and stuff. But what's happened is I've just kind of ended up wasting my fireworks anyway, which is fine. But you know, it kind of makes this cave useless, but I don't mind because I've got a little sniffer friend in here who just loves to smell me anytime I walk by, and I just really don't like it. It's uncomfortable. Stop. Then after I built that cave, I did a pretty long video where I went around and I just kind of added some pathing around my world where I thought that I needed it. And I also built this bridge over here, which has the same block palette as my house, just to keep things in theme. The next build is probably my top 3 of this world so far. I built my very own crypt and graveyard. At the end of my forest here, you find yourself in a graveyard, which is actually kind of scary. Also, this screenshot here, kind of cute. Okay, anyway, so you can see I have some open graves here and some closed ones, and you'll come in here to this small little crypt, which opens up into this staircase. This staircase leads down into my crypt, and I built this crypt for myself. Listen, I'm getting old, girls. I'm 24. And this is a hardcore world, and I am not like super great at Minecraft. So I am very confident that at some point I will die in my hardcore world, and I really wanted to be prepared for that by building a crypt for myself where I could be buried on my own terms. So if you'll follow me in here, I have built this spooky looking crypt where I want my body to be buried in. In here, you'll find some headstones that are the same as the ones at the very top. I also have this guy, which is totally not ominous. And inside of my crypt, I have a bunch of traps and other things to deter people from trying to grave rob me. Because no shade, I don't trust you girls to not steal all my stuff when I die. But there's a bunch of booby traps, like I said, like this arrow trap here. And this staircase leads into this big library room. I have some floating ghosts in here that are quite scary. They're made out of glass and banners. And you can see there's just some abandoned bookshelves all around. I love this room of the crypt so much, but I think my favorite part has to be the little trap over here that leads to a long fall into a deep dark pit that will kill you. Make sure not to fall in there. I also have some like shrieker blocks hidden in the walls to sound like ghosts screaming. I know I'm a little messed up, okay? Just bear with me. I swear I'm not crazy. And then if you come deeper down into the crypt, we have this area. Why is my grave open? Oh, not someone trying to steal my stuff. But this is the room with my grave, and that's my grave in there. And I will give you a little sneak peek if we come in here. Inside of my grave, I have a bunch of little trinkets from every episode of this series so far, and this is all the stuff that I want to be buried with. It's a bunch of memories from my life in this world, which I thought would be so cute to have in my own grave, like my first time going to the Pale Garden, fighting the dragon and the Wither and the trial chamber, etc, etc. I am also so proud of this floor. It's a long pitfall into the void made out of stained glass, and I love the way that it turned out, and my shaders really enhanced the look. The end rods make the purple glass glow, and it all just really comes together nicely. I don't know why that's open. I'll have to fix that. But over on this side, there is a trial room where you'd come in here and you'd fight bosses to get keys, to get loot. Then on this side, we have a room for my riches. And this is basically where I am burying all of my treasures and my diamonds and whatnot. This is basically a room to flaunt my wealth. And since I can't do it in real life, you bet your ass I'm gonna do it in Minecraft. Anyways, up here past all these diamond blocks, we have got this room, which is my very first dragon egg that is guarded by Llama Man, who I was talking about earlier. He is the guard of my egg along with all of these other watchers, and this room is very loud, so I'm gonna walk out of here. But basically, Llama Man guards the egg all the time to make sure none of you weirdos steal it. But you may have noticed that there was a bunch of item frames over here, and that's because there is a secret code in the wall here that'll make the doors open. So for this one, you'd have to count how many ghosts there are. There are 6. Then you'd have to count how many magma heads are in the treasure room with the egg, and there are 2. Then for this one, you have to count how many vault blocks are in this place, because if you didn't know, this whole crypt has been converted from a trial chamber, and there are like 5 of those or something. Oh, wait, can I fix the door here? Hold on. No, I can't. I fear the door is broken. I'll have to fix it at some other point. But yeah, that's the crypt. That's where I'll be buried. I know it seems a bit morbid to plan my own death, but these are just the kinds of things we do over here on the NovaSoBored channel, okay? Either subscribe and get with it or get lost. And I just have a few final builds to show you before the tour is over. So you may have seen from me flying around, but there's a huge UFO above me. Originally, I built a gunpowder farm with the cats that are in my forest, and I put them down there, and I built this UFO up above it so that I could AFK for gunpowder. I've since removed the gunpowder farm after realizing how inhumane that was, but I kept the UFO because it's such a cute little build. And there's a minecart that goes around inside it that lights up the UFO, and it just kind of floats here above my world. I actually really love it. It's loosely inspired off of one I built on an SMP called X Life. I was on that SMP with a bunch of friends, and I built that UFO. And now, finally, for the last build of this world that I did most recently. Girl, can you move out of my way, please? Wait, actually, blessing in disguise, because I didn't even talk about this build. So this build isn't the most glamorous or... Girl, I just saw your insides. I did not like that. This build isn't the most glamorous or luxurious, but I built a little helipad from my happy ghasts. I love the idea that they're like little helicopters and I can just land them here. That's just kind of what this is. Okay, now it's time for the final build. And you may have seen glimpses of it already, but if you haven't, this is my own Mount Rushmore. I built this a couple weeks ago while I was sick, and this is just sort of like a dedication to my first 3 animals that I got in this world. In episode 1, I got Llama Man, I got a parrot, and I got a wolf. And you'll have seen them in this video. That is Polly, Holly, and Llama Man, of course. But yeah, I built this little miniature Mount Rushmore of my own. Leading up to it, I planted all these birch trees because I thought I don't have enough birch trees in my world. They're all just kind of dark oak on that side of the river. Then I have a little walkway that people can come on in case they want to come underneath Mount Rushmore and just sit out and look at the view. And if I do say so myself, that is a really nice view. And I also have this poster from my animals so that you guys know who this is dedicated to. And then I also added in some water there for a waterfall. I really love this build. I think though, if I were to change anything, it'd be the height of the heads. They're just a bit too close to the ground, I fear, but it's okay. They're cute and that's what matters. And you get a really nice view of my entire world so far. And with that being said, that actually is the end of the tour. That is all that I've had to show you that I've built in my world so far. If you've made it to the end, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you've enjoyed. Like I said earlier, building this world and getting to play in it and expand on it and letting my creative juices flow has been so amazing for me. I couldn't have imagined starting this world in any other way. I think it started the way it started because it needed to come out in that way, and I am really excited for the future of this world. I can't wait to see what else I get up to next. Final words, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and thank you if you have been here since day 1. I cannot believe how much this world has grown in only a year's time, and I have so many ideas flowing through my brain of what I want to do in here, and I can't wait to build them and share them with you on this channel. Thank you for coming along on this 1-year tour with me. Make sure to check out the next episode so you can see what I get up to next, and I will see you next time.